Hello, good morning, my stamping friends. It's Christine here from Christine's Stamping Spot. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Albert, Alberta. And welcome to my Mystery Monday video today, the last one for the month of June. Do you believe it? Oh my gosh, summer is right around the corner. Kids here are out of school now, so vacations have begun. People are traveling. We have had just a deluge of rain here this whole entire month. I think we have broken our record for rainfall for the month of June. I think we've had at least over 200 millimeters of rain. And I think in inches, that's probably 7-8 inches, something like that. So unfortunately, there has been some flooding and different things going on. Excuse me. But today, for some reason, it is really humid. So I don't know if that means we're going to have another thunder shower or what is happening, but I'm just hoping it will taper off. So we can hope, right? So in the spirit of summer, we are going to make a different card today using the Sunset Coast stamp set and dies. It is all part of the Scenic Coast suite in our catalog. Now, this has been a super popular suite, I think, because it's just so beautiful with the dies, the excuse me, frog in my throat today, and especially the designer paper, which I'm going to show you in a second. So this is the whole suite. You can find it on page 26 of the mini, and so some really great dies, stamp sets, embellishments, all of that. So we are going to make a really fun card called a triple layer bridge card. Now this has been I've seen a lot of different samples of it, and I thought I have got to give this a try. So as far as the stamp set, you've got all of these images here, which are awesome. Some great greetings, and then these dies, guys. Look at this. You've got the sailboat, the lighthouse, a big, the sunbeams, and a whole bunch of other little ones that you can incorporate. So these are really, really beautiful dies. Okay, and the paper, which is probably the star of the show, it is a specialty paper. And you know what? I'm not sure if we've ever really had a 6x6 paper that has been a specialty paper. Maybe we have. Actually, yes, we have. We have had some at Christmas with foils and different things. But this one, I don't know if you can tell in this light, but do you see this little sheen here on the water? I don't know if you can see that right there. And you get in this paper pack, what's interesting is you get 48 sheets, which is pretty much the usual. And you get, I think it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you get 8 sheets of 6 different patterns. So that tends to get you a little bit further and stretches your designer paper usage. So you have this fabulous design with the blue on the back. You've got this one here, which also has that sheen here, more of a sunrise almost, with the yellow. You've got this one with the purples and that sheen here again with purple on the back. This one, which is very lovely. And you've got that sort of sunset. And that has, let me just double check, this on the back, the coral. And then you have this one. Just try to separate these with the waves are kind of that specialty shimmer. And then this last one here, which is also beautiful. And this kind of goes all across the water, which is lovely. All right, so isn't that just stunning paper? Oh, just love it. Okay, so this is the card we are gonna make. Okay, fairly simple and well, as far as what I put on the card. But what I found interesting was how this card was constructed. So when I say a triple bridge fold card, this is how it looks. You open it up once and you open it up twice, and then on the third, you can write your greeting here. Okay, so really, really neat idea and so many possibilities with this particular layout and this fold. Okay, so this was the very first one I tried. So it's a little bit beat up because I had to, replace a couple of pieces here and there. So I'm going to keep that as my guide, and hopefully we can get this right. Okay, so we are going to start with a piece of balmy blue cardstock. Okay, and this is cut at 11, 11 by 4 1/4, so half a sheet of paper. And I'm just going to fold this and score. It's scored at 5 1/2, but I'm just going to make sure that my edges line up because that's kind of important with this card. Okay, so I'm just going to score that. And then what we need to do is bring in our paper trimmer. And what we have to do then is we're going to open up our base with one end at the top of our paper trimmer. And we are going to mark on each side, we're going to cut at the at the 1 inch mark. And I will post all these measurements on the post. So I've set it at 1 inch and we're going to cut right to the score line. Okay, so you can go a little bit slower if you want. Just double check where you are. If you go a little bit past, that's okay. Okay, so we have our first cut. Then I'm just going to turn it over and line it up at the 1 inch mark again on the other side and do the same thing all the way down to the score line. Okay, so there we go. And this gives us that flap. Okay, so this is what it looks like. All right, so it's a little bit flimsy. So we're going to reinforce this a little bit with a bridge of some little paper strips. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to flip this out of the way. And maybe I'll turn this way. It might be easier to see. Let me put it this way. Okay, so we're going to have these flaps here. Now we want to put a little bridge across, and we're going to do it with 2 pieces just to give it a little bit of extra reinforcement. So these are cut at 5 1/4 by 3/4, and we're going to put them just here on the sides. Now you want to make sure that your flaps aren't like in or whatever, right? Because you want them to be straight. Okay, now it doesn't matter if it's, you don't want it too far up, and you don't necessarily need it right at the bottom unless you want to. So I'm going to put it about there. Now what I wanted to say was you're just going to put adhesive behind this side and this side, not here in the center. Okay, so when I put this down, let me do one side here first. Okay, so I'm just going to put some adhesive here and line that up. Okay, so now it's going to be like this and this. And then this one, I'm going to put some adhesive just under here. Okay, and then we will put this down. Okay, so there's our bridge. And if you went over a bit, just take your scissors and you can just trim that little piece off. All right. Okay, so when it's closed, it's like that. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a second one right on top just to give it a little bit of sturdiness and reinforcement. And again, you're just going to put adhesive here on these side pieces, okay? Because you don't want it to be sticking to your flap. Okay, so I hope you can see what I did there. Okay, so that's on the inside. So when you turn it over, this will be your flap, and this will be your second flap, and then your third. Okay, so now that the bridge is done, how about, let me see, what should we do first? Maybe we will decorate the inside. Let's do that, and we can work our way forward. Okay, so for the inside, what I did was I took 2 strips of that designer paper, and these are cut at 5 1/4 by 3/4 as well. Okay, so these are gonna go, I'm gonna turn them so it's more the water side showing. Okay, so these are gonna go right one on each side. Okay, so let me just get my silicone mat out here, and we're just going to put some adhesive on here. And put one, just leaving a little bit of a border here. And one with a bit of a border on the other side. Okay, so just kind of eyeball that, try to line them up as best you can. Like so. Now you could just write on the blue, on the balmy blue if you wanted, but I thought, you know, let's just put a piece of basic white in the center. I think that would just sort of give it a little more of a finished look. So this piece measures 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, so you're just gonna kind of line that up and put it so when this is closed, it's gonna cover that white. Okay, and this is where you can stamp or write your greeting. Okay, all right, so now we're gonna work with this designer paper. So what I did was I picked a pattern, and then I cut it down to, let me see my measurement, 5 1/4, 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so what I did is I cut a little bit off the bottom, and then I cut some off of each side. I think I cut about 1 1/8 off each side because it's 6 by 6. So I think I cut about 1 1/8, 1 1/8 for 2 1/4, and that left me with 3 1/4, 4 1/4, 5, yes. And then I just cut off a 1/4 inch. No, 3/4, yeah, 6, yeah, 5. 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. So now I have to bring in my paper trimmer because I have to cut a strip for here, strip for the center, and a strip for the right. So to do that, I'm going to bring in my paper, the one that I cut, and on each of the sides, I'm going to cut at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so we'll line it up at the top at 3/4. And cut. So this will be our right flap here. And then I'm just going to flip it around and line up at 3/4 on the other side. Cut, and this will be our right. And then our remaining piece will be 2 1/4, which is what we want. Okay. So what we can do now is attach, excuse me, I need a sip of coffee. I don't know why I have a frog in my throat. Oh, crazy. Okay, so let's put these side panels on first. Okay, and you're kind of keeping the pattern as it was before it was cut. Okay, so I'll put that up there for a minute. And then we will put on this left one. And this time we're going to have the designer paper showing. And leave a little bit of a border. And put that one down. And then put our right one on. Leave a little bit of a border. And put that one there. Now this piece, what we want to do is put it on the inside flap, okay? You don't want to put it on top of the bridge. You want to put it, flip the first layer up and put it on this flap, okay? So this, okay, I might have cut my paper a little bit short on the inside, but this will, actually it turns out to match almost perfect, so that's okay too. Just be aware of that. You might need to trim this a little bit more. My measuring looks to be a teeny bit off today, which I'm not surprised. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we will put this on the inside. Okay, so we have this flap here now. All right, so when you close it, it's going to look like this. So now we're going to decorate. So, excuse me, oh my gosh. So we're going to cut out our boat from the die, a couple of seagulls, and our little starfish. So those were all pre-cut from the die. So here's the sailboat die, and this is how it comes out of your die cutting machine. So I just want the image to fit on this panel, okay? So, because if I put adhesive, if I do it like this and put adhesive here, I'm not going to be able to lift this center panel, right? Because it'll be stuck here on the side. So I just want my boat to be in here. Now it's going to be a little bit different than this one because I want the sun to show. So I wonder what I should have done with this bridge. Maybe this bridge I should have put a little bit lower. I'm going to do that. It all depends on the paper, right? Okay, so just pretend that you put it on the right way. Now we're going to have a little bit of adhesive there, but that's okay. I'm just going to move it down a little bit. And it may not affect it too much, but we shall see. Okay, let's just do it like that. Okay, so it's a little bit lower. So I'm going to cut out this sailboat. Now, if I lift this up, I'm going to cut it here. And I'm going to cut it here. Okay. So I have my sailboat here. All right. And I must have gotten rid of that middle piece popped out. You can put like an extra little wave there if you want, but that's okay. We'll just leave it like this. So when I close this, I'm just trying to get placement, okay? So I'm gonna close it kind of here so we can still see the sun. And now is this going to, you know what? Is this going to go all the way across? I might trim this just a teeny bit. It's the thing with these flaps, you can kind of flip them up and down as you're going. Just be careful they don't rip because it is kind of fragile. Okay, so let's see placement again. So if I put my sailboat here, we still see the sun setting. And we'll put this down. And then when I put on my greeting, yeah, that will work. Okay. So let's put on some glue because this is very kind of dainty, this sailboat here. So I'm just going to put a teeny bit of glue on here to tack it down onto the paper. And if you want, I know I don't like getting my fingers all sticky. So let's see if I can get my tweezers on there. And I have some glue on the front here. Do you ever have those days where things don't go quite as smoothly as you like? I think today is one of those days. Okay, so we will put our sailboat right here. Okay, now there's a little bit of glue seeping, but that will dry. Okay, so you still see that sun. Okay, and let's add our seagulls. Now, I did cut 3 because in the die there are 3. Let me see if I can find them here. Here. This is the die right here. You cut 3 out at the same time. Same with the seashells. They're all cut out at once as well. Now this little guy seems to have fallen off my table. So I guess we will just do 2. And I did put these on adhesive sheets because they are so small. Clearly they are because I've already lost one. And we'll just put these here in the middle as well, flying through the sky. And put his friend right behind. Okay, so almost touching there. Let me move this over a teeny bit. There, that's better. Okay, and then our greeting. Now we have some really good greetings in here, but I didn't want to make a retirement or an anniversary card, but those are also great occasions, right? And these ones I wasn't sure if I would be using just yet. So I actually found some in the branching out. This is a retired Christmas set, but it has really great greetings for other times of the year, like happy birthday from our family to yours. And then a hello, thinking of you, wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. So that's the one I chose. And I just put that, stamped it with a secret C on the basic white and flagged the ends. So this one, I'm gonna just put here adhesive on the bridge and put my greeting on top. Okay, now I think I can just use this adhesive this time. And just center that here. Okay, sort of like this. Whoops. Like so that it will still open. And then I did cut a starfish. I just like the starfish. And I'll see if I can fit him on a mini dimensional. I know these might even be a teeny bit large. So let me just see if I can cut a little corner off. This might be a little tricky, and I hope it holds, but oh yeah, this might be really not a good one. I'll have to try again. Maybe I could put one on. I don't know, it might show, but like I've said, sometimes we need mini dimensionals, minis of our minis, for just such an occasion, right? Now, if you didn't want to put it on, you could certainly just put it on flat, but I'm just going to put it here. And there you go. That is all there is to it. So it's not very difficult once you have that first cut done. So then you open it. See, I have a bit of adhesive here still. Have to get rid of that. And then your flap, and then you write your greeting. Same here. You have your bridge, and then in here you see your beautiful sunset scene, and then you can open it and write your greeting. Isn't that a fun layout? And you could do this with so many different dies and stamp sets. I think the possibilities are endless. So just a really fun fold that I hope you guys enjoyed. Triple layer bridge fold card. That's a big mouthful. I was going to call it a fun fold. I guess it can be called a fun fold, but I hope you give that a try and let me know how it turns out. So have a great week, everyone. I know we are celebrating Canada Day here on Wednesday, and our American friends, I believe you are celebrating on Saturday on the 4th. So I hope everyone has a safe and fun holiday, and we will see you in July. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.